Good morning, children. Today we shall continue again this chapter 10. The lesson is Contact with the Distant Lands. In this chapter we had learned in the previous class about why or what are the reasons that India had or in other nations came to India. So we learned there were proofs found, for example in Arikamedu, that people from Mediterranean, from Western countries, Romans, Greeks, French, they had come here for trade. So many reasons were there why they had distant contact. The reason is they had trade relationship. Also people came from different nations or countries to be as a pilgrim, that means Tirthyatri, and another reason was kings and rulers. So yesterday we had discussed about some of the points about which are the areas they came, trade routes we have seen. Okay, today we have to see central and northern regions. I have put the heading here, central and northern regions. In that you have to see Sunga dynasty and Satavahanas. So we will open page number 78. So central and northern region, by the end of 3rd century BCE, that we had learned that Ashoka, after Kalinga war, he was taken up and inspired not to go for war anymore by seeing the bloodshed. Okay, so he adopted or he accepted Buddhism. Okay, he left Hinduism and he became a follower of Buddhism, and he chose not to fight anymore, and his army became weak because they were not going for war anymore. Okay, then Sunga dynasty. In 2nd century BCE, Pashyamitra Sunga is a king of Sunga dynasty. Till now we were learning about Mauryan dynasty, na? We had Chandragupta Maurya, Bindusara, Ashoka. Okay, he defeated the last Mauryan king. Pashyamitra Sunga defeated the last Mauryan king, Bridhartha. He was the last king of Mauryan dynasty and took over the empire of all Mauryan empire. Jitna bhi Mauryan empire tha, the Sunga dynasty took over. He was soon attacked by the Greek rulers from the west. So when Pashyamitra Sunga defeated Mauryans and took over all the territories of the Mauryans, that means he acquired, उसने सारा Mauryan empire जीत लिया. उसी समय दूसरे देश से अटैक हो गया Sunga dynasty पर, which attack from Greek rulers. Okay, from the west they came through Indus river. But Pashyamitra Sunga was also able to defeat them too. तो उसने Greeks को भी हरा दिया. Okay, this led him to believe in his powers and performed. So he believed that I am able to defeat Mauryans, I am able to defeat the Greeks. So he thought I am powerful. So he performed Ashwamedh Yajna. Ashwamedh Yajna is a यज्ञ और यजना होता है जिसमें the king leaves a horse, and wherever the horse will go, all that territory will become of the king. That means the people are ready to accept the reign of that particular king who has let the king go. पूजा कराते हैं और उसमें एक घोड़े को छोड़ देते हैं. जहाँ भी वो घोड़ा जाता है, all that area becomes of the king. And if you don't want to give that territory, उस territory के the king of that territory has to stop the horse. It means he is ready to fight with the king. This dynasty ruled over a century and a large territories of Mauryan empire. So Sunga dynasty ruled for century, 1 century on the Mauryan empire. By gradually powerful governors and the local rulers. Now itna bada, such a big empire they had. Okay, so this big empire, the Pashyamitra Sunga could not rule alone. So he had to divide it into different parts and set a governor or ruler for it. So he divided his empire, whatever he had won from the Mauryan dynasty, that he divided into small provinces and he gave each province to one governor or some other ruler to look after it and give all the details of it. But all those governors and rulers declared themselves independent and they became more powerful. Okay? And then they declared that we are no more under the rule of Pushyamitra Sunga. And they started fighting among themselves. So dynasties were involved in fighting among themselves only. So this is about Sunga dynasty. Who is the famous ruler of Sunga dynasty? Pushyamitra Sunga, who defeated the last king of Mauryans, Siddhartha, and took over all the empire. And then what happened? The Greeks attacked. He defeated the Greeks also. When he saw that I am able to defeat all, he believed in himself that he is very powerful. So he performed Ashwamedha Yajna. And he set his territory into smaller parts and set governors. Those governors and rulers declared themselves free, and there was fight among themselves for the acquiring the territory. This is about who? Sunga dynasty. Okay. Next we have the Satavahanas. Now new dynasty became one of the prominent regional part of central India. So Sungas or Satavahanas were ruling in central India. Okay, the all northern part from Pakistan, from Himalayas till Assam, was Kalinga also was in the hands of Mauryans. But in central India, some part, which part? Malwa region, Malwa plateau region, and part of Karnataka was in the hands of Satavahanas. They were also known as Andharas. Can you see the region in the pink color region is shown to you in your map? Satavahanas is written. This is the area where the Satavahanas were ruling. Okay. Now, which region it is? The plateau region of Malwa plateau region to Karnataka. Okay. So, we have Satavahanas in central India. Next, we have some foreign invasions. Foreign invasions means foreign attacks. You have already learned about the attacks in northwestern region by Alexander. We have learned in the previous chapter that northwestern region was attacked by Alexander, and the foreigners had started their attempt once again to capture territories in the west. So once Alexander attacked, and other foreigners from the Greece and all also wanted to attack the northwestern region of India. Northwestern region of India. The Indo-Greek, the Sakas, the Parthians, the Kushanas were the foreign invaders. So these people are foreigners who attacked on India. Indo-Greek from Greek, the Sakas, the Parthians and the Kushanas. They belong to Asian tribes, but they merged with Indian culture. So they belong to Asian tribes, but they used to follow Indian culture. Many of them adopted Indian religion of Buddhism after coming here. So when they came to India, the Sakas, the Parthians, okay, or the Kushanas, whatever religion they were following before, they left that religion and they started following Buddhism. The Indo-Greek king, the name of the king from Bactria, Meander, also known as Milind, converted to Buddhism under the influence of Buddhist monk Nagasena. So here is an example of some kings who accepted Buddhism. Okay, they came from foreign, that means Central Asia. This shows after capturing territories, the kings were influenced by the local religion. So it means if they have captured a local territory, they were influenced, they were inspired by the religion which the people used to follow. How do we know? Because those the Kushanas, the Sakas, the Parthians, though they came from the foreign, from other country, but when they came to India, the people at that time were following Buddhism. So they also accepted Buddhism. Okay. Next we have Sakas. The Sakas were the most famous dynasty out of these. So these are the foreign invaders. Okay, Sakas are these foreign invaders. Okay, they were very powerful ruler and ruled for nearly 300 years. And the most famous ruler was Rudra Daman. The capital was Ujjain, central India. So this kings, Sakas, ruled 300 years. The famous king of Sakas was Rudradaman, and they had their capital as Ujjain, where in central India. Okay, the Parthians. Next foreigner group was the Parthians. They came from Persia or Persian origin they were. They had taken over the territories of northwestern region of Punjab and Sindh, which forms the northern Pakistan today. So when they came to India, which part they occupied? They took the northern part of India, northwestern part, Punjab, Sindh, Pakistan, that area. Okay. Gondopharans was one of the most famous prominent ruler. However, this kingdom did not survive for long. This kingdom survived for 300 years. Enough. This did not go for long. Okay, they did not rule for long years. Okay, and the famous king of Parthians was Gondopharans. They were of Persian origin. They ruled where? Northwestern part of India, which is Punjab and part of present day Pakistan. Alright, next you have Kushanas. Kushanas were the tribes from Central Asia who came from the west. They were able to defeat the Indo-Greeks, and they were able to thus control nearly whole Punjab plains extending over the modern day of Pakistan. So these Kushanas came from Central Asia and they took over the part of northwestern India, okay, Punjab, Pakistan some part, and they defeated the other invaders. दूसरे जो अटैक करते थे उनको ये हरा देते थे, इंडो-ग्रीक, like Indo-Greeks. So Kushanas used to defeat Indo-Greeks also. Okay, they ruled for 515 century to 120 century. Kanishka was the most famous ruler and he ruled for about 42 years. Understood? So here the famous king is Gondopharans. Here who is the famous king? Rudradaman. Sakas mein Rudradaman. Here Gondopharans, Kushanas, Kanishka. How many years he ruled for? 42 years. Only one. More than that, there were other Kushanas kings also. So art and literature developed a lot during the Kushanas. Kanishka was a great lover of art and literature, making of buildings, paintings, writing of books. So the Gandhara school of art is a famous art from which Greek links to Indian art. So if we will see Gandhara art, there is a combination of Indian art and the Greek art. Okay, so art and literature developed during Kushanas because Kanishka was in favor of writing books, paintings, drawings, all that. Buddha Charita is a book written by Buddha Charita was written during the rule of Kanishka. जब कनिष्क किंग थे तब ये बुक लिखी गई थी. It has a very significant place in the Buddhism literature. So very famous it is. If we will take one of the Buddhist literature, Buddha Charita is also Buddhist literature. Now Charak, another Ayurveda physician, was a jewel of this court. So in Kushana's court, इसके दरबार में कुशानास के में चरक is a person who was a physician. आयुर्वेद के वैद्य थे, बहुत famous. His book Charak Samhita is another famous book of those times and considered valuable source of knowledge about Ayurvedic studies. So he wrote a book, Charak, one who was in the court of Kushanas, that means Kanishka के राज्य में थे. He has written a book. The name of the book is Charak Samhita. He has written about all Ayurveda, about that time Ayurvedic studies. Patanjali, you must have heard this name many times, was another famous person who wrote about words of grammar in his book Mahabhashya. So Mahabhashya is a book in which he has written about grammar, Vyakaran, okay. Then currency. There are lots of evidences when excavation was done, okay. The archaeologists found some coins, and coins were not only of silver or copper but gold coins were found. So this means it shows the kingdom of Kushanas were very developed, prosperous. That's why the gold coins are found. And over the gold coin, the images of Kanishka is also found. All right. So this was about your which Buddha? The king Kushanas. So today we have learned about central and northern region. We have learned about Sunga dynasty and Satvahana dynasty. Okay. Then we have learned about the other foreign invaders. These are the foreign invaders. Okay. They came from Asia only. They were Asian tribals, but they used to follow Indian culture, the Sakas. They ruled for 300 years. Okay. And the famous king was who? Who was the famous king? Look at your book. Here, Rudradaman was the famous king. Rudradaman was the famous king. Then we had Parthians came from, they were Persian of origin, and the Gondopharans was the famous king. Kushanas, Kanishka was the famous king, ruled for 42 years. We have evidences of Buddha Charita book and other books which tell about his kingdom, and the gold coins tell about the prosperity of his kingdom. This is the chapter we have completed till now about the Kushanas. Next class we will continue with the spread of Buddhism. Read these points today once again by yourself. Give 10 to 15 minutes. Read this much and then you will understand more. And if you can have any problem, you ask in the live class. But before that, you should study. Okay? Thank you and have a very, very fine day. Bye.